Mr. Brown wanted to report back from the Washington meeting as soon as possible, hence the statement to the House of Commons in Parliament yesterday. He began by summarising to fellow parliamentarians what had happened over the past half year.
Mr. Speaker, in just over 6 months, the world has seen a 40% collapse in global share values. Global financial institutions have written off losses approaching $1,000 billion, and world oil prices have peaked at nearly $150 a dollar and then sinking 60%. We've seen a fall in global expectations for growth in the world's industrialised countries from 2.5% in 2007 to below zero for 2009, with all the impact that this has on families and businesses and all the worries on mortgages, jobs and family security in Britain and around the world. And what is making this a fully worldwide crisis is that in recent weeks a problem that started in America has extended to emerging markets and developing countries, some of which are facing bankruptcy. Mr. Speaker, these unprecedented global events call for unprecedented global action. And while the economic problems of the 1970s created the G5 and then the G7, it is right that for the first time leaders from developed, emerging and developing economies responsible for 85% of global growth met and agreed on the urgency of common and concerted and, where appropriate, coordinated actions to address the financial and economic crisis. Mr. Speaker, to put the long-term challenge in context, in the next 20 years it is expected that the world economy will double in size. This will mean a doubling of opportunities for British business, new opportunities for British workers and families, but to make the transition to and secure the benefits of an open and inclusive globalisation, we have to deal with the three consequences it brings: the need for restructuring of industries and services, not least resulting from the rise of Asia, increased competition for resources as long-term demand for oil, food and commodities from the newly emerging economies threatens to outstrip supply, and now that we have global flows of capital, the need to ensure a global framework for financial services as a precondition for prosperity and security.
Mr. Brown said the Washington summit agreed a broad and concerted international macroeconomic policy response.
Now, Mr. Speaker, it is for individual countries to make their own announcements, as we will do in due course. But the more coordinated the action, the greater the benefit to each country will be. And I believe the emerging consensus across the world, from the International Monetary Fund itself, from governments of left and right, and political parties, with only a few exceptions, in developed and developing countries, is that we should take rapid, coordinated and concerted action through the use of budgetary measures.
The Prime Minister told Parliament if Britain continues to take action, and if that action is matched elsewhere, the downturn can be shorter and less deep.